So, after everything that's been going on, here I am again. We are talking about Yakuza Gaiden today. The man who erased his name. Oh my god. Every time, you might notice that if you watch my previous videos, every time that I am just thinking about the game that I have played, I always get chuckles or, that nagging feeling of slight annoyment. This it covers the series so well. I mean, Yakuza series, of course, or like a dragon if you prefer it like that. But anyway, let's start from the start. What do I think about this game? And should you play this game? I have completed it, of course. I have played the last chapter today, so my feelings are very fresh. And for those of you who are really willing to know my opinion, I think this game is good. I think it is not the best one, but I think it's very good, one of the better ones. So what did I knew about the game? I knew that this game had a surprisingly good following to it. The fans really enjoyed this game, and this game had a lot of good rep behind it. Also, this game was a sort of a new direction for the series because this is the first time the RGG studios decided to do that Gaiden format. If you know, just last year they have released the second Gaiden game and that pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I think the idea behind it is sort of okay, but I haven't played it yet. What I've seen is weird. So yeah, we will just forget about it for now and see what we have on our hands. So yeah, this game, it released just half a year before Yakuza 8. It has a full Yakuza 8 demo inside it. And if I remember correctly, this game was built in only half a year. You know, the story goes, and I might be wrong on this one. Yeah, I've heard it quite a while ago. That the developers of in the RGG studios they have been done with the bigger portion of Yakuza 8, and the suggestion was made to make another game, and they just threw themselves into it. And sometimes, you get it from the opposite perspective, like, oh my god, these companies, they are running like sweatshops and they are doing it only for a quick buck and everything. And this time, many people look at it from the exactly opposite direction. Like the developer really likes the series so much that they decided to put an extra oomph into the series, to put an extra game into the series. Like Yakuza 7 and Yakuza 8 are now turn-based RPGs, and this is the game following an old, old protagonist, and in its game formula, like more action-oriented brawler kind of game. So this is kind of neat, but still, I have bought it at autumn, I think, slightly after I have completed Yakuza 7. And now I have finally had a reason to do it, and I have done it. So how it runs? It ran not really good. When I have started the game looked gorgeous. The frame rate was perfect, the animations were solid, the reflections, the lighting, the composition, all of it is really good. But when there are suddenly, plenty of light sources or plenty of people, plenty of reflections, oh, this game couldn't hold it. There were a lot of bugs, there were a lot of artifacts, or I don't know how you call them on English language. Uh, the game was looking like a mess. I tried to, toy around with the settings, trying to find the perfect blend, and even setting all of the graphical settings lower only helped so much. So later I decided to upgrade my graphics card drivers, and it worked. It really worked. So if you experience some problems with the game, I suggest you do that. It worked for the most part, of course. The game still wasn't perfect per se, but like 99% of problems went away. The game runs mostly smoothly after that. It never crashed. The sounds were good, and the scripts were good. So yeah, in terms of game quality, I think it really relies on that factor. Yeah, but as I already started talking, the visuals. The game is the most beautiful game in this series, but not in terms of style and design, but in terms of its graphical fidelity. Sotenbori, well-known location in this series. It is the main hub in this game, and the main streets with its own, neon lights and everything. It looks gorgeous, and it really puts you into the place. I really liked that. Also, compared to Yakuza Kiwami 2, we get the park back. The park that was in Yakuza 0 but was somehow absent in Yakuza Kiwami 2 is back there. We still have it. Cool. Neat. So yeah, what about the soundtrack and overall sound design? I think it is also one of the stronger parts of the game. Yakuza games routinely have good soundtrack and good sound design, and here it is a very good blend of old and new tracks for me, and the sounds overall sounded crisp. There are a number of karaoke songs, some of them new, and all of them, of course, are nice. I have enjoyed them very much, even though I don't really like playing that mini game. I think the later, the older I get, the less I like it. But still, what about the good old fashioned gameplay? This game, it came back to the previous formula. We already tried new formula with Yakuza 7 with turn based combat. Now we came back to the action, brawler type of combat at the center of the game. Of course, RPG studios weren't doing nothing in that regard. They have made Judgment games, of course, and Yakuza Kiwami too. So they have perfected their craft. But still, it is the first time in a long while when the game about Kiryu has Kiryu in forefront, and we get to fight as Kiryu. And fighting starts very good. I have played the game, of course, on hard difficulty, as I recommend many of you. And at the start, fights feel immediately challenging, yet satisfying. I think at the start the balance is there. You really have to move accordingly, choose great, right actions, and use environment to your advantage. Like the game is supposed to be played. That is good. But then the old villain healing items happen, and then another old villain. The gear happens. The one you could wear, the stat boosts, and then upgrades happen, and it goes the same as usual as it was before. The game just gets very steep dive in terms of difficulty in its combat. But I'm not talking, of course, about Colosseum. I will mention it later. But yeah, but there is another very, 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 very good thing about the combat, and that is an addition of two styles. Alright, ever since Yakuza 0 and Yakuza Kiwami 1, Kiryu was stuck with his old usual Dragon of Jima style. But now, in this game, he starts off with a new style. It was like, oh dude, you've been pretending to be dead for a while. What have you been doing? Nah, I've been training. I've been training this new martial arts style that, implements this Spider-Man's web thing in it, like what the fuck, and yeah, that's precisely what he does. He's very fast in this kind of style, and of course he has an option of using his gadgets. So they blend seamlessly into it, and they are very important in its execution. And they feel broken. They feel very broken. All of them have their unique purpose, and I don't think any of them are particularly bad. At first, I thought the dynamite cigarette, you get, cigarette that you can burn and throw, and it is like a dynamite stick. It blows up like a grenade, and at first I thought this would be a weaker item, but then I saw some purpose for it in the Colosseum, when you fight against some slower opponents. It can be quite a menace, I think, but still I forgot about it, so I used the old-fashioned way. But when the game starts, going on, and then you are introduced to your original, the Dragon of Dojima style, and it feels very cool because, uh, as I mentioned before, the game has, that difficulty curve. First, it starts very strong, and then it drops. But that when that first illusion of balance happens, it feels like the agent style is against many opponents, when you have multiple opponents against you. But the Yakuza style is against bosses because charged up attacks for it breaks up enemies' guard. But no, as the upgrades go, it's just agent style becomes very, very, very much superior to Yakuza style in many forms. But I digress, of course. I slightly touched upon the topic of many enemies, and that is the main focus of this game, the thing that separates it from the previous games. Oh my god, does this game just enjoys throwing swarms of enemies upon you? Like when you were walking down the street in the previous games, you will be attacked by from 3 to 7 opponents usually, sometimes slightly more, but not really. Here you can just stumble upon a group of ruffians on the street who decide to attack you just from seeing you, and their number is like 20 to 30 numbers big. It feels weird, very weird, and they can, get even the shotguns and Chinese broadswords. It feels so weird, but it also is kind of fun. When you get certain upgrades, the fighting can become kind of cool, like Dynasty Warriors feeling, I think. But I never played Dynasty Warriors, so I can't say that with certainty. And later, with the new and improved clan creator, we'll talk about that, of course. There is, of course, another purpose to a lot of people on the screen. So, that is about fighting. I think this is the best fighting we get in the whole series so far. Even better in some ways in Yakuza than in Yakuza 0, but in Yakuza 0 it still felt sorta relevant during the later part of the game, and here it just drops. It felt weird, but still, some of it was exciting and fun. So next, traveling. As it was in the previous game and in most of the game, traveling and such is always alright. Sotenbori especially is a small location. You can get anywhere you want very fast. Like you can get from, like southwestern part of it to the southeastern part of it, from mostly, as far as you can be locations in less than 3 minutes, I think, maybe in two. And you can always use taxis, of course, and yeah, the game is very packed. You rarely waste time in it. And in the previous game, in Yakuza 6, I felt obliged to grind a little on random encounters on the street. Here it just isn't the case. It certainly gives an appropriate reward. It feels very nice. It gives a good amount of money that you use for your upgrades and everything. But it's not as necessary if you wish to have a good progression. It's good. Mini games are better than usual, I think. They of course have, like their chestnut mini games such as shogi, mahjong. They have pool. They have darts, golf pens, etc., etc. They have arcades, but I haven't touched it, of course. But if I remember correctly, they had the whole game of Virtua Fighter in there, the more modern version, and that is kind of cool. Still, I didn't need it. Just didn't see, the point in it. But the good thing is that the claw machine was back. I kind of missed it in Yakuza 6. And yeah, it was the same as it was in Yakuza 7, and I blazed through the claw machine, like requests. I will touch upon requests later. So, the main mini games. There are two main mini games in this game, and one of them is clan creator. And it made well. It was made well. It was so much better than what we had before. It is obscene. It's obscene. The weakest minigame in the series was turned into something solid. Why did it happen? Because they have blended with the Colosseum, and Colosseum I also didn't really like. I played it a little bit here and there. I never completed in any of the Yakuza games. I think in Yakuza 0 I went the farthest with it. I'm not sure how far though. But here it wasn't as tedious, and the new clone creator, addition to it really makes sense in some regard, and upgrading it feels good. Setting up your team feels good. And why does it feel good? Because you fight alongside them. Because you fight from the main row. You're not trying to replicate the RTS experience on the gamepad. You shouldn't do that. I think it's a very, very tough challenge to take. And when you're designing a mini game in Yakuza of all places, you should, choose your battles carefully. And in that regard, I think they made the best choice. And it was all right. All right, it was okay. Um, the second mini game is a fan favorite, returning champion, and that is Pocket Circuit. And I think, even though in terms of gameplay, they somewhat made it better a little bit, but in terms of everything, excuse me, in terms of everything that surrounds it, it wasn't as good. It was lacking compared to the story of Yakuza Kiwami 1 and especially Yakuza 0. When you were playing that minigame in Yakuza 0, you felt like you entered a club. It was a club mostly consisting of kids, but still, it was a community. Here, it's like you're putting random people from the streets who share a relative passion for the game, but you feel disjointed from it. It is very cold. New Pocket Circuit Fighter is, of course, it doesn't match up to the charisma of an old one, like duh, but it just feels undercooked. Yeah, I think that's the word. And the manager of the course star, I believe the joint was called, I still don't get what they were trying to do with him. But overall, I think the gameplay wise, it was okay. It was nothing new in terms of solid ideas. I pretty much blazed through the 90% of the content. Only the last main track made me a little bit sweaty. I have wasted about 90 minutes on it trying to find a perfect, setup like you should with these games. And only then, when I gave up and I have started to looking up ideas online, I have noticed that I I thought that I was restrained in terms of resources in a way that I wasn't. So yeah, I felt very stupid. So yeah, that is about main mini games. What about the economy? Economy is tight. I think in this game, economy feels very, very on point. You rarely feel like you are broke. You usually feel like, I wasted a lot of money. I didn't, keep any for this necessary portion, for this additional, mostly additional content for me. So it is a good moment for me to go to do some content that provides me with cash. And yeah, I think it was good. So yeah, that is mostly about the game. The formula is the same as always. You go around punching people on the street, you visit some points on the map, complete some requests, and even some sub stories involved. And when you are bored of all of that, you go back to your main story. And the main story in this game is its biggest dumpster fire. The game at the beginning. If you have played Yakuza 6 and you know its ending, it's basically all of Yakuza 6. And Yakuza 7 to a lesser extent. The game dumps a lot of drama on top of you. Like, oh, I'm Silsky Boski. I was the most legendary mafia guy in this whole country. I have stopped an invasion of many forces. A lot of people that are close to me are dead nowadays. So I decided that I will pretend that I'm dead and I will join this secret organization that will pressure me. And it feels so kind of forced. again, the beginning of the game, like in Yakuza 6, feels forced. But still, and you are bathing in that drama, like, ooh, I have erased my name, ooh. And then 5 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, there is these random nobody guy, and he's like, hey, I know who you are. He's like Ralph of Wiggum. It is so stupid. He's such a nobody, such a random NPC, and he just destroys your anonymity between some peoples around you, and then it goes further and further, and that kind of moment, that is the whole game. The whole game is Kiryu failing at keeping his anonymity in check. It is so bad. It is so bad in that regard. But of course, I give a lot of credit to this game. When you shouldn't take it seriously, and you know I think in another direction you should take game's storyline as unseriously as to a certain extent. That's what I'm trying to say. And this game, it just it goes very deep into that foolish kind of absurdity. Then the whole game happens, the whole story, and that is the classic Yakuza bullshit. It is the most predictable kind of bullshit if you like Yakuza games. And if you like Yakuza games, this game is for you. They made this game for you. This game is not for new players. And, so you're kind of stuck with it. Someone is villainous, like a JoJo villain, twirling his mustache at the at the table, like, I am villain and I'm doing some villainous shenanigans against you, of all people, you, Kiryu, who I have de-anonized, it's you. And what about the kids? You're doing this for the kids. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to kill the kids. And one scene happens, second scene happens, and now he's your best friend. Again. Again. This is the whole game. Every time that happens, it happens. Every time. What the fuck? But the good thing about this story that it is short compared to other games in the series. There are not too much characters, but I seriously doubt you could enjoy even a bit of the main story without playing prior games. It is simply impossible. It is simply impossible. You should play other games, I believe. But saying that, I feel gracious that I have played the games in that exact order. That I have played the Yakuza 7, that I have played Kiwami 2 and Yakuza 6. Yakuza 0 and 1, of course, but these three in particular, they were the best kind of setup for me to enjoy this game, and I really had fun with this game sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah, so I severely recommend to you, if you are going into the game, just play the prior games. If you don't like the prior games, you wouldn't like this game anyway, even if this game has the best kind of gameplay and some really good memes. I think if you can't go through previous games at the minimum, you're not going to enjoy the time here anyway. So yeah. And the main story, it goes, it annoys, it goes. It pulls the same shock value things, and then the last chapter happens, and the last chapter isn't great. It is, of course, once again a complete fan service. It is basically recreation of a story from Yakuza 7, but from a different perspective. But after everything is done, everyone is beaten. Also, have to mention, I don't like the last boss rush in this game. The villains are not that charismatic for me. I didn't like them, of course. But last two cutscenes in the game, they're very cute. I think the developers really wanted to do something beautiful with this game, and they have tried to make a setup for it. But on the other hand, they have to please their bosses, who knows what sells, or at least they think that they know what sells. And these last two scenes, very, very charming scenes. I really like them, even though, you know, they really know what they're doing, they aren't holding any punches. It is the same kind of soul like in Yakuza 6 and Yakuza 0, I think. It is very, very charming. When I watched them, I felt like I haven't wasted 30 hours for nothing. And yeah. Also, have to mention that this game took me slightly longer than Yakuza 6, but of course, in Yakuza 6, I haven't played many of the side content. I have completely missed one of the mini games, one of the more important mini games, since you have, an upgrades for it in your upgrade system. You can level up in that direction. And once again, I just didn't find the start for it. I tried, but I didn't. And I could have Googled it, but then I thought, nah, if it doesn't, it doesn't, But still, here I tried to do what I liked, and I liked a lot of side content. I have completed all the Pocket Circuit, but in terms of Colosseum, I kind of gave up. I just thought, man, I have put 30 hours into the Yakuza 6, and now I have already put 30 hours in Yakuza Gaiden. I am 60 hours in. I'm kind of tired, and all of this content surrounding these four kings of Colosseum and everything else, it feels so predictable. So I just kind of, I'll see it on YouTube if I ever have the mood for it, but I'm not sure that I will, at least soon. Yeah. So let's cover the mini games slightly in slightly more in-depth fashion. Clan Creator and Colosseum, that is the classic Colosseum kind of thing. You can fight 1v1 against some bosses, you can fight one versus group, you can fight some special bosses, but I only encountered two misters try and hit me. And there are the main meat of the Colosseum is the clan creator. You can make your own crew and take it with you to go against a group of enemies. And I am very surprised at how well it was made. Uh, there is a lot to do to gather your clan members and upgrade them in certain directions, and composition of the of the group that you take with you into the battle matters. It matters, and I felt like I have to think more. Excuse me once again. I'm feeling kind of sleepy today. I felt like I had to think more when I was doing Clan Creator than I was while playing Pocket Circuit. Well, Pocket Circuit is, its own. All of its idea is behind you have to make a perfect car. There's, it's all about the strategy, but here it really is. There is a lot of strategic ideas that you can put, and since you are on the battlefield yourself, you can make a difference by just playing good, fighting good, doing what is best. That is amazing. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, that is the best iteration of Clan Creator. I wish the previous Clan Creators were going into that direction. Joryu has a better clan than Majima or Kiryu could ever hope for. A little joke in that regard. Uh, Kiryu decided that it would be a good idea to call himself Joryu in that game. Nobody would find that out. And in most mini games and everywhere, he's called Joryu, not Kiryu. But in Tool and some other small mini games, he is still mentioned as Kazuma Kiryu. So I think the developers just forgot to swap the name. Or if we think about it in terms of canon, I think he decides to, keep on gaining a street cred in this particular mini games. Still, it's kind of silly. Another new mini game is the Hostess Club. And the previous game that I have played, Yakuza 6, also had Hostess Club. And if I understand correctly, there are another, iterations of it when you go as a visitor and talk to a hostess. Not to, not to be confused with the cabaret club running mini game. And this time they have decided to do something very different. They have recorded the footage from live action actresses and set up these dates. And what I heard is that the 70 or 80% of the space that is required on your hard drive if you want to download this game is this particular mini game, even though it is not very deep. Um, so that is that is funny. It is not hard. I cheesed it, of course, because I didn't want to spend a lot of time in it. Also, this is not the kind of way that I enjoy my Gunin sessions to be. But the fun part is that the first one, the first girl that you can talk to is an actual streamer. I don't remember how she's called, but she is one of the more well-known fans of Yakuza series. She streamed most of the games, and she was invited to play this part. And if I understand correctly, she also becomes an NPC in one of the sub stories in Yakuza 8. So yeah, that is the thing about that, and I think the idea is kind of fun, kinda, but it's just not for me. I think it always felt good that Yakuza series invited us gamers into the world of adult entertainment, like casinos, like disco clubs and everything, and hostess clubs, host clubs, everything around it. Cabaret clubs, it is the same thing. It provides us with a uh, uncommon setting, the one that is rarely explored. It is very good, but when the gameplay is when the aesthetic around it is lacking. I just don't give a fuck. I just don't give a fuck, But I ran through all of them. Only couple of the actresses even tried. I feel like, and surprisingly, The ones that I like the most are the least sexual in their behavior. That is very weird, but yeah, that's what it is. Also, this game, I can't claim that this was the first time because I haven't played Judgment games, and there are of course these Dead Soul games, yada yada, other spin-offs. But this is the first Yakuza game that I have played that introduces the idea of dressing Kiryu the way that you want. But not only does it do that, it also requires you, if you want to complete certain requests, to go to the castle, which is a ship in the sea. You fly a helicopter there, and then you fly a helicopter back to, paint your face like a clown, so one kid on the street of Sotenborg wouldn't be upset. And then you go back and wear, straw hat and sandals, so you would make other guy feel better. And then you wear a tuxedo to make some old woman think about her dead husband. Mm, some requests are tedious. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think the idea of dressing Kiryu in a way that you want is kind of good, but also it makes me appreciate the previous games that didn't give this kind of option before after completing the game, because it makes you understand your character more. I think that the way character moves can or looks. I meant to say looks. The way character looks can really complement the story that the authors are trying to say. And when you give a player option to dress the way he wants, it can somewhat subtract from that experience. So I hope it's not going to happen, as much in later games. I hope they would stick with one vanilla outfit, because I think it plays better for the characters, it plays better for the narrative, it plays better for everything. So yeah, these are the four new mini games, except Pocket Circuit, which is a complete rehash for this game. And let's talk about sub stories. I think I should talk about Akane Network as the uh, new gaming mechanic overall for this game. So, the sub stories in this game do not happen naturally as you walk down the street, as it was in previous games. Most of the cases, at least. It happens most of the time when you take request from the Akane. Who is Akane? Akane is a major character in this game. I think it was slightly undercooked, slightly in some ways, but mostly I liked her. And she is the local helper to the homeless and information broker, and she does some other things. I'm not sure. So she gives you requests around town, some obscene ones sometimes, and you do them. And that is where your sub stories happen. And sub stories start very, very good. They are surprisingly nice, start strong, but then you get a lot of sub stories about crushing local gangs, which are and recruiting new members to your clan. It is a very mid kind of experience. It is okay. It is a filler experience, but it is nothing exciting. But some stories are very, very, very good. Even Ovatarian makes a return, and she makes a return for the best. Because when we have seen her in Yakuza Kiwami 2, I think it was such a uninspired way to return a character. You know, it is such an uninspired attempt at fan service. It was so boring. It was very sad. Also, there are another kind of requests, more smaller ones. They appear on your minimap. These are stroll and troll kind of missions. You can meet someone on the street, and he will give you some very small mission, like I wish for you to see how you can play darts. I wish how you can sing a song. I wish you could give me a Snicker bars. I wish someone would make a photo of this fish, and etc. etc. There's a lot of those kind of missions, and I think this is also very good. This is one of the better parts of the game because it incentivizes player to attempt the kind of content that he wouldn't otherwise touch. That is good. I enjoyed that. And there is two, especially, there's two sub stories that require especially a special amount of attention. Seven golden balls. So there is an idea in, I believe it's Chinese also, but Japanese, of course, culture about like Dragon Balls. There are balls. There are seven of them, and you gotta collect them. And in this game, they are golden balls. So they are Kintama, if I believe correctly, they're called. That is the same name that people call their nutsacks. Men call their nutsacks in Japan. So it's kind of it's kind of a joke in that regard. And the way that they are spread around the map is also slightly creative. I can give it to them. It is not bad, but when you go through all of that adventure and you meet the guy that you should give the balls to, I know that they have tried to do sort of I know the kind of joke that they were going for, but it felt so boring. And the reward that I got, maybe I chose the wrong dialogue option, of course. It was so bad. The whole this whole quest was a disappointment for me. The other sub story of the same caliber is the story about Golden Samurai. What you may notice on the street is often happens in Yakuza series. You can meet some NPCs in exact same locations that talk about the exact same garbage, and there is always someone who talks about the Golden Samurai as a guy who walks the street and beats people who he doesn't like. It's almost like in Yakuza Zero there were these Mr. Shakedowns. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They give off an appearance of Mr. Shakedown, but it completely lacks its impact because Golden Samurai doesn't appear in the game before you activate his sub story. Then you fight him once, and he is a complete pushover. Then you fight him second time, he's still a complete pushover. Then on the third time, he invites you to a challenge at the very good location, beautiful, and everything else. There are a lot of benches and trash that you can use for environmental damage, so it wasn't really in his kind of favor that battle was set up. And he is still nothing special. And what you get is like, yeah, you beat me. Congrats, man. I lost 3 times. Alright, that's it. I just wish they gave this game a little more attention, so this experience could be very, very polished. But no, there is a lot of times when there is just no closure in this kind of things. So this is mostly what I think about the game. My closing thoughts about Yakuza Like a Dragon, Gaiden, the man who erased his name. I was tired near the end of the game, but it is understandable because I did it straight after finishing Yakuza 6. It is a smaller scale game, and I actually like it for it. I think Yakuza could use some games in that kind of format. Also, the previous game that I've played, as I mentioned multiple times, Yakuza 6, and this game feels like a reverse Yakuza 6 in some sense, because side content was fun most of the times. But the main themes of the game lack a soul for a bit. The closest, to the when the game tries to explore its main themes, the closest we get is when characters say, yeah, I mean, with words, they just pronounce their motivations, their experiences, their past, and their problems. Like, I lived a life, I loved these people, I hated these people, this is my motivation, these are my problems. When, in Yakuza 6, there were very cool moments when people shared somewhat of a silence sometimes, or environment showed the mood, or something else, like when one of the main villains starts, sharing his sub story, even Kiryu doesn't give a fuck. Not only me, and it is. I think it's not good. I think writers should, have a good, deserved rest and get back when they are feeling up to the task of doing a good game. I think a good script could really enhance Yakuza experience in many ways because there are a lot to like in Yakuza games, but this is like the main ingredients that is lacking that could be better. So yeah, also all of these moments made me kind of miss Yakuza 6 cast. These Yakuza guys from Onomichi, the kids, Haruto, of course, a little bit. They were, dumb, but they were written with soul, and that I really like. Also, I couldn't compare. I could not compare these games, and when Yakuza 6 felt rushed, this one was rushed, and yeah, it just shows. It shows sometimes. It technically it isn't perfect, Many of the games, sub stories, mini games, or anything else. The main story, of course, were slightly lacking, but I have to give appreciation for the things that was done with care and with passion. Like the castle location, it is gorgeous. It is exactly what it should be. It is stupid and pretentious and obnoxious. It's a perfect Yakuza location, and I think it was a success. Also, when I started the game and I played it for a bit, like first 5 to 8 hours, I started asking myself a question: Is this game really that good? My first impression was very good, and I really thought, like, could it be the second best game in the series, or maybe the best one? But I doubted that it would be better than Yakuza Zero. But still, the second best is a very very high grade. But after completing it, I can confidently say no. It is a great game, but it lacks in some regards, as I have mentioned all throughout this video. Also, it's the most modern game in the series that I have played, and it really shows the problems that people hate in most recent games. And For me, these problems are over reliance on cameos and overabundance of ads. In first case, I don't know. I mean, we know people at Sega are not very smart as publisher, because they made a lot of bad decisions even back in the 90s. The game practically collapsed and was born anew. So Sega has, a bad track on that, but I liked Sega for willingness to explore some interesting themes. There are a lot of Sega games that I have enjoyed over the years. I think it was my favorite publisher up until recently, I think. Well, except Valve, maybe. And here, they like pushing, we need more cameos, we need more real life people, actors to give faces to these characters, and since the people already know them, we don't have to explain them. See, people will like them just by looking at them. Who is the MB? What? The MB who works in a clothing shop. He's a Japanese celebrity, but I'm not Japanese. And most of the market for Yakuza games already going, very very hard in the West. But he's an MB. How did he know? How did you not know who is an MB? I don't know. And there is a lot of stuff like that. The main characters, they get real life actors, to give them faces, and sometimes when you spend some time with them, there is a portion of the game when you spend some kind of free time with some of the main cast, and the game just kind of, if you played, you know what I mean. Game just kind of hopes that their charisma from their other works will convince you that they're charismatic here also, but they're kind of not. They're all right, but not anything special. Completely. Also, what kind of problems it can lead to is when their career goes very, very hard, and you need to get them for another game, the licensing of their time and everything that you can do with them, it will cost much more. It's stupid when you could just make a face of a character from scratch and hire another voice actor if everything goes bad. It is so there are so many risks but not many rewards. Also, it brings us to the current situation with Yakuza Kiwami 3, like when one of the main cast characters was recasted. It was a one character, but they have made his looks and appearance around the character who was involved in a scandal. And from what I heard, they're just nothing that makes this guy looks good. And Sega were just hold on, like we need this guy in the game. But this game, the original game, not the remake, never had him from the begin with. No, we need him. And another game, we should recast him as well. And it is such a bad direction that I really don't like it. Sometimes it's okay, like these streamer girl, in the cabaret minigame. It is okay, I think if it is a minor characters, it could be okay. But as a major ones, you shouldn't rely that 50 to 60% of your cast to be in that kind of regard, because you close the door for an optional remake later, or optional sequel later, or you make it much more costly. I think it's not a very smart decision in terms of that. Also, overabundance of ads, as I have started to talk about, it is so bad that I mean, in previous games, Yakuza was also using ads, and even in these games, it is an okay kind of ad when there's a 7 Up, like you can buy that kind of drink, or Carlsberg beer, there are a lot of famous brands that are included into the game, and that's okay because they are not at forefront, they are all the way at the back. They actually enhance the experience, not subtract for it. But at one of the last cutscenes in the game, there is like the most stupid cigarette commercial ever. If not, what what came after was so good that it actually makes you kind of forget about that. But when you think about it, it is so silly and it is so bad. It is not a good way of silly. It is a bad kind of silly. So I think if RGG Studios and Sega will go in that direction further, it could bring a lot of problems. And I have heard more about Yakuza Kiwami 3, about its content, about its direction, and yeah, from the sound of it, I can really understand why the community is upset. I have seen new cutscenes added to Yakuza 0 Definitive Edition, like they are not very good. So maybe these are the dark times of Yakuza that we are going into. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I just want to enjoy what I have in front of me. And this game is a prequel to Yakuza 8. It is a bridge between Yakuza 6, 7, and 8. So next game most likely will be Yakuza 8, and Yakuza 8 is the most mysterious game in the series for me because I haven't heard any direct opinion on it. It was released. People commended it for its fun kind of side activities, and then it vanished from all of discourse. Of course, I try to avoid spoilers, yeah, but it's still kind of weird. And nowadays, people, don't talk about it much. Why? From what I can understand is the good thing about the game that they try to enhance the fighting system from Yakuza 7. One of the bad things is that 70% of the story revolves around Kiryu and not around Ichiban. And I can understand that frustration either because in 2019, 2020, when Yakuza 7 was released, it marked the turning point in the series when Ichiban is the new protagonist. Kiryu is gone. It's like his story is over, and it just didn't happen. Sega really liked to milk the big man titties of Kiryu, and it is kind of sad. I wish that Ichiban really, I really enjoyed him in Yakuza 7. He gave me a very good impression. I think it is a very distinct character with a big heart. I wish to see more from him, but now I have a kind of not fear, but slight dread of what I'm going into when I will play Yakuza 8. But when I will play Yakuza 8 is another question because I have played two Yakuza games in a row, and I have played about four Yakuza games in the last half a year, and I am sort of tired of them. Even though since I have completed all of them, I think it gives me a perfect setup to play Yakuza 8 since my memory is still fresh. So what I think I will do is I will play something else. I'm not yet sure what it would be. Of course, I will play Overwatch. It has been a blast. And I will choose a new game, and that will be it. After that, I will get back most likely to Yakuza 8, but if I will not be in the mood for it, I will go into the Judgment series. Yeah. Also, most likely I will do another video about the games that I enjoy, but I haven't played in a while. There are some older games that I have very strong opinions about, so I thought about talking about them for a bit here. So that's about it. It came out once again longer than I wanted to be. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.